Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this peachy glam look for you, as well as telling you the story about the time when I was sexually assaulted by one of my co-workers. Let's get right into it. First off, today we're going to start priming my eyes with my Bye Bye Under Eye. I'm sure that you guys will start to know this, but this is a very common occurrence because this is pretty much all I use to prime my eyelids. Covering up those hectic eye bags from not getting any sleep whatsoever last night, thanks to my baby. And blending it out with my beauty blender. So because today I'm doing more of a dramatic look, I'm going to use my tape to guide myself. And I do really need to get a tape dispenser, but let's face it, I'm lazy. They don't need to be perfect. They're usually pretty long whenever I do them, but you just have to make sure that you do stick them to your hand before you put them on your face, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself when you pull them off. I know this is such a good look. So today I'm going to be using my Too Faced Peach palette. I only just got this one the other day and I have not used it yet. So I'm going to start with White Peach on my brow. Okay, so the story time that I'm going to tell you guys today is about the time that I worked at a caravan manufacturer, and whilst I was working there, I was sexually assaulted. I wasn't sexually assaulted on premises, don't get me wrong, but I was sexually assaulted by a co-worker. So this is someone who I assume was my friend. When I was working there, I didn't really have, like, the best time. It was very intense. Like, everyone that worked there were always yelling at each other. Like, that was just how they did. It was a man's business, to say the least. Like, it wasn't really, like, women, you did not have a say in pretty much anything, despite the fact that the only people who really did any work there were the women, funnily enough. But yes, it was not the place to be if you wanted to be taken seriously. But anyway, so basically what ended up happening was I didn't really get along with anyone that worked there because I didn't like them. But then after about 8 months of being there, I just sort of got over myself and started being friends with some of the sales guys, because I knew that they were sleazers, like, just by the way that they spoke about women, and they thought that they were top shit despite the fact that they resembled what I could only really describe as rodents. Yes, they look like rodents, like rats. But yeah, I was not attracted to them, nothing like that. I literally just did not give a shit. But I just remember that this dude that worked there, let's call him Paul. So Paul was an asshole. Like, I don't care what anyone says, he was a prick. And, like, he treated everyone like shit. He treated everyone as if, you know, he was the boss, even though he wasn't. Like, his dad was one of the bosses. But, like, he was in no way, shape, or form the boss. Anyway, so one day, because I knew that he had a girlfriend, and one day he was just being more of a prick than usual. And I was like, well, fuck this shit. I'm just going to go and ask you what's wrong. So I went upstairs and I was like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, like, he said that him and his girlfriend broke up. And I was like, oh, you know, that really sucks. Like, I've been through enough breakups to know that that's shit. Anyway, so I don't know what clicked in his head. He's obviously gone, oh my god, this chick must, like me, you know, because this place was notorious for having, like, little slutty receptionist girls that worked there. I was in no way, shape, or form a slutty receptionist. They just assumed that I was because I was female, I guess. Like, they were it was one of those places that just, they didn't give a shit about you. Like, you weren't a human, you were just a female. So one week, this Paul guy, I'm pretty sure I call him Paul, this Paul guy keeps telling me, he's like, we're gonna be in Geelong, you should come down, we should all go out for drinks, blah, 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 blah. Like, we're all gonna go out when we go out to Geelong, blah, 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 because they went to caravan shows, so, you know, he's just, like, kept asking me to come out in Geelong. And I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. Like, where I lived at the time was about 2 hours north of where this place was. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm driving 2 hours to go there, like, it's just not gonna happen. Anyway, so the weekend comes around that they're there, and he messaged me again, and he's like, you gotta come to Geelong. And I was like, fuck, no, I'm not coming. But then later that night, I ended up being about 40 minutes from where they all were. I don't know really, I tried. It was funny. I'd actually gone down there to meet up with an ex-boyfriend. Ugh. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm in the area, why not? I'll just go down for a drink. Because he's telling me, like, this is what he's telling me. He's telling me that everyone's out. Like, all the guys that are down on the work trip, so like the bosses and then the sales guys, he said that they're all out for drinks. So like I should come down and go out for drinks with them. That's why I went down there. Let's remember that fact. I didn't go down there for him. I had no sexual attraction to this guy whatsoever, and I had absolutely no plans to sleep with anyone that I worked with. Like, it was just not going to happen. Anyway, so I've gone down there, and I get there, and there's no one there. It's just him. And I was like, this is really weird. Okay, but the big issue is that my battery pretty much died as soon as I got there on my phone. I didn't have a car charger. My GPS, for some reason, my charger wasn't in my car, so I was pretty much stranded there. I had no freaking idea what to do. But he was like, look, like, because he was by himself, and I've gone, where is everyone? He goes, oh, they're coming. Like, just come on, let's go find a bar, we'll go have some drinks, and we'll wait for everyone else to come. And I was like, oh my god, this is so annoying, but whatever. Like, I'm coming all the way down here. I'm like, but I can't drink, like, I'm driving, so obviously I can't have any drinks. So for my crease, I'm dipping into puree and summer yum, and then I'm going in with a finer brush into candied peach right into my crease, just to sort of give it a little bit more colour. But anyway, so I get there and we go and look for a bar, and he goes, you need to have like a drink with me. I'm like, look, I've got no money, like I'm not drinking and I'm driving. He goes, come on, just like have a drink and I'll pay for it, whatever. Let's remember, this dude is like the same height as me and he looks like a rodent. Just remember this. Like, I know that looks aren't everything, but I have absolutely no attraction to this guy. There was no, like, I could accidentally fall into his charms. Like, there were no charms there. It was rodent, pure rodent. But I was just like, he seems nice enough, because I didn't know him. I knew him a little bit, but not a lot. Like, I worked with him for the last 6 months, but I didn't know who he was. Anyway, so I just didn't care. I was like, look, I could always use him like a friend. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a male friend. I'm happy with that. So, let's just be friends. But anyway, so he goes, just have a drink with me. And I've gone, ugh. He's like, because he was paying for it. I was like, fine. Buy me a goddamn drink, but that's it. I'm having one drink, and then I've got to go. Because no one else was there yet, mind you. And I'm just going, where is everyone? And he goes, oh, they're coming. And I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. I don't think they're coming. And he goes, no, they're coming. I promise they're coming. So I keep asking where these guys are. And then he eventually goes to me, they're not coming. They went to bed ages ago. Like, I just wanted to hang out with just you. And I was like, seriously, dude? I drove all the way fucking down here to hang out. Like, I didn't drive down here to hang out with you. I drove down because you said everyone was going out. And I was like, well, if we're all going to go out and have some fun, well, then I may as well come too. But we're not. You've just freaking lied to me and got me to come down here. He's like, I'm sorry, but, I just wanted to hang out, and have some drinks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I've got to go now because I've just had my one drink and that's it. I've just put just peachy on my eyelid. Anyway, so I'm like, you just lied to me to get me to come down here. Like, I can't be drinking. I've got to go home. I've got to drive home. So, like, I've got to go. And he goes, no, just have a shot with me. And like, I can't have shots. I have to drive. And that's when he goes to me, I have a couch in my room. So if you want, like, I'll buy the drinks. You can sleep in the bed and I'll sleep on the couch. I should have seen the red flag. But I just was like, I was so ignorant and naive back then that I was just like, well, okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not buying any drinks though. Like, I'm happy to not drink anymore. But like, I can't be buying any drinks. And he goes, no, it's okay, I'm going to buy all the shots. I'll buy all the shots. And, you just relax and we'll just have a chat, whatever. So this is the point where he then goes, we were talking about relationships or something. And he goes to me, so would you ever, and I've got, no. I'm going to stop you right there before you finish saying what you're saying. Like, you're a nice enough guy. He wasn't. But it's never going to happen. Like, it's never going to happen. Just no. Pure and simple. No. No way in absolute hell. And he's just like, oh, okay. I'm like, no offense, but like, I would never get involved with anyone that I work with anyway. I'm just putting delectable in my crease. I was like, I'd never get involved with anyone that I worked with anyway, but yeah. But there's no way in hell. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, you're nice, but no, we can be mates. That's about as far as it goes. And he was a bit upset about that, but he got over it. I thought he got over it. I'm just going to add some tempting to the very edges and smoke it out a little bit, just something a little bit more dramatic. I'm just sort of sticking it to my wing and just on top of my eyelid, and it kind of resembles eyeliner, but it's obviously eyeshadow, and I've just smoked it out. Anyway, so the night goes on, and we're still drinking, and then eventually I think a point comes and I'm just like, look, I'm really tired now, I need to go to bed. And he's just like, okay, let's go, we'll go back to my room and we'll go to sleep. And I was like, sweet ass. Anyway, get back up to the room, everything's fine, and then I'm just like, because this is how drunk I was, like I'm literally thinking of this guy, no interest in him whatsoever. Because yeah, wherever we was, it was really hot, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep in my pants and my bra, like my pants, and I took off my shirt and I was sleeping in my bra. And I noticed him looking at me a little bit like funny when I took my shirt off, but I didn't think anything of it. Like I said, I was very, very naive back then. But like the amount of guy friends that I have where I sleep in like my underwear has never been a problem. Obviously, incredibly friend zoned. Like nothing bad against them. I just didn't have any interest, and they respected me and I respected them, and you know, we never had an issue. But obviously this was not the same sort of thing, but I was obviously mistaken to think anything else. So I'm just going to take a bit more of my Bubba and dry. So I know that a couple of you are probably thinking, well, that's your own problem. Like, that was your own fault. You got undressed for some guy and then proceeded to sleep next to him. And I'm just, but that's not, I don't believe that's anything wrong on my part. Like, I fully explained to him that nothing like that was ever going to happen. And he offered for me to sleep in his bed and he was going to sleep in a couch. Like, I had no reason whatsoever to think that anything else was going to happen. So basically, he proceeds to pour me a glass of wine. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm freaking exhausted. I'm going to sleep now. Anyway, so then I get into bed. Now I'm taking my MAC pigment in Naked. I'm going to put it onto where I placed the concealer. Yeah, so I've gone to sleep none the wiser, not really thinking too much about it, because I'm like, you know, I'm going to sleep in the bed and he's going to go sleep on the whatever couch it is. I don't care. I'm too drunk to care. This bastard got me so drunk. Obviously, I could have said no. I'm not saying that like he force-fed me alcohol, but he got me so drunk. Like I was wasted off my face. And even then, I still had half a brain. So anyway, push comes to shove, I've gone to bed, not thinking anything of it. I'm just like, sleepy time, I'm done. And that was it. And then I woken up at about, I'd say 4 o'clock in the morning, because I think we went to bed at about midnight, 1 o'clock. I've woken up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's like on me. He wasn't on top of me. He was like right next to me in bed. He was only wearing underwear. Like, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to sleep in underwear, sleep in fucking underwear. No, I'm not thinking anything of it. If I'm sleeping in a bra, you can sleep in your underwear and I don't care. But this bastard, so I'm there asleep. He's like groping me and touching me. And I'm like, I'm not that drunk. Like, even when I'm drinking, I still am not. I've got a brain. Like, I'm totally alert. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop touching me. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. He continues to like touch me. He goes, this is okay. It's okay. Like, just let it happen. And I'm just like, no, stop. Like, stop it right now. And he just kept trying to touch me. I am still so drunk. I've bounced up out of bed, I've thrown my top on, I've grabbed my shoes, and I'm like, I need to get out of here. He's like, no, don't go, like, you know, you're still drunk, it's still really early, and I'm like, I'm not staying here with you, I'm not, this is not happening, and I've literally just gotten the fuck out of there. And he's like, you know, text me when you get home, as if he gave a shit. Anyway, I was so drunk. All I remember is waking up in my bed at home. Let's remember, I was 2 hours from my house. I woke up at home with Hungry Jack's next to my bed. Yep. That was how that night went. But yeah, he sexually assaulted me. I didn't even really think of it like that. Like, it wasn't even, I wasn't sitting there going, oh my God, I was sexually assaulted. I was just like, oh my God, that could have gone so bad. But luckily enough, I got out of there. And anyway, so I had to go back to work. So this was on the Saturday, so at least I had the weekend. And I had to go back to work and deal with this. Deal with it without making it an issue. So this is my eyes done, and now I'm going to get on the base. I'm not going to do the base on camera because I just think like it's foundation. We already know how to do all that. Now I'm going to do my contouring with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Anyway. So I've gone to work and I was just feeling really upset. Like there was one of the women that worked there and I was like, I thought we were friends and obviously I was incredibly wrong. Like, oh my gosh, couldn't have been more wrong if I tried. She pointed at the fact that I seemed a little bit upset. I'm pretty sure. I think she did. I can't remember. Unless I just wanted to tell her for someone to talk to. And I've gone, this is what happened. And I can guarantee that she would have assumed that, I'd gone down there for a quick route or something like that. I can guarantee she thought the absolute worst of me. Like, I'm not stupid. But I didn't expect for her to then run off and tell Paul that I told her this. Paul yells at me from upstairs to get into the boarding room. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, what's this about? So I've gone in there. He's screaming abuse at me. How dare you? You told everyone I tried to rape you. What's wrong with you? Like, what are you talking about? I only spoke to her and I didn't tell her that you tried to rape me. What the hell are you going on about? And he just was losing his absolute shit at me. And I just started crying. He goes, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I said, yeah, nothing happened because I left. I'm not telling anyone anything about this. That's it. Obviously, you're never going to apologize because you have the idea that nothing happened, and that's fine. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I haven't told everyone that you tried to rape me, you crazy bastard. Anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that happened with that. Funnily enough, the account manager ended up coming to me, I think it was about a month or so later. They'd spread a rumor about me that I was sleeping with everyone. One of my managers pulled me into a meeting to say that doesn't matter if I was or wasn't, it needed to stop. So literally telling me that I'm a hoe and to stop opening my legs. That's the main reason why I never told anyone about it, because I knew I had absolutely no chance in hell of being believed. I knew that. So I was like, why put myself through that when no one will believe me anyway? And then, they'll have all these people on their side and I'll have no one. You know what's worse is that even if I was sleeping with a bunch of guys that worked there, I wasn't, but like that I was pulled in and basically told that I was a slut and to stop being a slut. That's illegal. You can't actually do that. But I think something really important to know is that if I had known back then what I know today, I probably would have said something, because I shouldn't have had to go through any of the things that I went through, and I shouldn't have had to go through any things that I went through working at that company. Like, it was so wrong what they would say to me and put me through, and it was all just a big joke. And I'm just using my Nude Sticks Intense Matte Lip and Cheek Pencil in Entice. So I'm just going to go back in with the Clinique Liquid Eyelining Pen. I'm just going to go in again with my Napoleon Mascara. I'm only lightly coating them because I'm actually going to put on some lashes today. Don't you just love it when your husband puts cotton balls all over your freaking eyelashes? They're all fluffy. While I wait for that to dry, I'm going to put on some of my Becca highlight in Opal. At least I think I'm doing Opal. It is a bit pinky, but just, when you've got really pale skin, it just doesn't really suit. I just hope this isn't one of those moments. I'm going to dip back into my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Exposed. So now I have my fake lashes on. I'm just going to let them dry a little bit. So I'm just using my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So the stuff is just magical. It just makes you feel so much better no matter what you're doing. yeah, so that's pretty much the entire story. I mean, working there was pretty dodgy as a whole. I ended up getting made redundant there because my boss threatened me with a redundancy a week before I was made redundant. He said, "Are you looking for another job?" And I was like, "No, of course not." Like, this all pretty much came from what this guy did to me. I never did anything. I never told anyone, nothing like that. And yeah, my boss threatened me with redundancy, so because he's like, "Are you looking for another job?" And I said, "No, I'm not. Like, I enjoy this job." I enjoyed the job. I just didn't like the people that I worked with. It was just unfortunate. And then a week later, I get pulled into a meeting with my account manager and I get told that I was being made redundant. And I was like, I know that this is not okay. This is so not fair. Like, I burst into tears and I was like swearing and whatever. I was just so angry. I was like, how can he threaten me with this and then turn around and do it like a week later? That doesn't make sense. He doesn't need to minimize on staff. They ended up replacing me about a month later. Not even. I think a couple of weeks later, I was replaced. They didn't make me redundant legally. They did it the most dodgy way possible. They just ended up renaming the position that they rehired for. Whatever. Good riddance. But it ended up not being that bad in the end because I got made redundant on the Friday. I applied for a job that night. I got a phone call on the Sunday to come in for an interview on Monday, and by Tuesday I was already working again. And that ended up being where I met Mike. So it all worked out for the best. But I think the main thing to take from this is that if anything ever happens to you that you're not comfortable with, you need to say something. I didn't say something, and I guess I do regret it in a way because, like, guys do this a lot and they get away with it. I mean, sometimes there's a case of miscommunication, but this was not a case of miscommunication. I very blatantly, directly told this guy, not gonna happen. And while I was asleep, he tried to do stuff to me. Like, it's not okay. Even if it's physical abuse, if it's like I've been physically abused by an ex-boyfriend, I've been emotionally and mentally abused for a very long period of time, actually, by the guy I moved down here with, like to the point where I felt indebted to him. I felt as if, like, I guess he owned me in a way. Not that he owned me. I felt that I owed him something, and I didn't. I didn't owe him anything. He was such an asshole. He was an asshole. He was manipulative. He was narcissistic. He was just not a nice guy. And I fell for everything that he said. And no matter what type of situation that you're in, what type of abuse that you're facing, it's never okay. Like, don't ever make excuses for someone's behavior towards you. I didn't make excuses for his behavior. I just sort of forgot about it because I knew I had no chance in hell of doing anything. That was my issue. But I mean, I could have tried, but I would have failed, and I just wasn't about to do that to myself. But please don't ever let that be an excuse to not report someone or anything like that. That's all I can really hope for. I'd say I hope you enjoyed this story, but I don't think anyone really enjoyed this story. I mean, I hope you take something from it, I guess. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys.